Okay, go ahead and begin.
All right, let's call this meeting to order. It's at 5:31. This is the Public Advisory Board Tuesday, September 2nd meeting at 5:30. We'll do roll call. I have Scott, Owen, Yvonne, Tyler's not here, and Larry is here. All right, is that good?
Yep.
Public comments. The only person in the crowd is Brad. Do you have any comments, Brad?
Nope.
All right. We'll move on to the approval of the minutes way back on June 3rd. I know all of you have read those. Did you have any additions or corrections to the minutes of June 3rd? I'll entertain a motion by someone to approve those minutes. Okay, motion's been made to approve the minutes and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? All right, passes unanimously. We're into the business part of it and the exercise equipment for City Park.
All right.
Chelsea's getting caught up. I'll just say that the mayor and I were at, was it the 27th? The Sunday market. And we had people come by and fill out their preferences. I thought we were gonna do it some more, but it didn't happen, but we got good feedback, I think.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and the reason that we didn't do more is that when I sent out cost requests to the manufacturer, I'd already done that before and got some general costs, but when I sent it out to him, they're having some current incentives that they were not having before. So we were actually going to be able to get the top 6 pieces of voting, which was like a good variety. So I just felt like because we were going to be able to get so much that we probably didn't need to get additional feedback. The feedback I think that we did get was, I put a chart in here. There were a few that were kind of not as popular. But you can see that people just overall seem like they really would like to have some additional equipment there. So it was, just positive to be able to get all of that equipment in our budget.
No, that's great. I mean, after we finished that day and looked at them, there wasn't one piece of equipment that was standing out, but there were a few pieces that people just didn't want. So it was kind of more of I saw it more of a process of elimination. And I noticed in there, which was a piece that I did,
Cycle.
and that was the one they did, was the knee lift. But then there was where did you have that? It was something about part of of incentive.
Yeah, the knee lift, I guess, was required. So
Oh,
whatever
okay.
program this is that you're getting, it's sort of like bringing a mix of equipment to the community. That's part of the program. And so they require that the knee lift station
there it is,
be
yeah.
part of that.
Okay.
So the good news was, I think it was around $700. So it was pretty low cost to add it on, and was worth it for the discounts that we're getting on the other equipment.
And,
How do you use that one?
pardon?
Sorry, like, what do you do with that?
I don't know.
I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
I did, they include some signage, so I think we can get signage that shows you how to use things, which will
Does
probably
that
be
come with
helpful.
them or not? Or is that
Um,
additional?
I know they have at least one sign that they included, but I can't imagine that it does everything. We might have to get those additionally.
Okay.
But I can ask our manufacturer about that.
And it seemed to me we had a long spirited discussion at the last meeting about what colors.
Yeah, so
And I don't remember
think the most passionate members of that discussion are no longer on this board.
So, yeah, I did mention colors. Staff, we kind of looked at a couple different options. I think what our priority was is having something that is bright and is going to attract people to it. You know, you can go both ways. You can make it green and brown and it blends into the environment. But there's a lot going on at City Park, so we wanted to make sure that people see it. And when they come to the park, they're saying, what is that? I want to go over and check out what's over on the side of the park. So that was kind of our recommendation on colors, that we have something that's bright. And this example, yeah, the example that I put there is, you know, a pretty good option. They've already have, you can see in that picture that they have a few pieces of equipment that are kind of in that general color. They've got a couple different colors in there. And then I think a couple of pieces of the equipment have like a decking, and there's not as many color options, but they have like gray that would go with these colors. So, you know, I think people will notice it in these colors. Like I said, we looked at a couple different options. Some of them look very playground-esque, you know, they kind of look like a playground rather than a more like gym equipment. So,
So have we chosen a color? Colors?
we have, as staff, this is what we're suggesting to go with, just based off of what we looked
So
at.
the color that's on the picture.
The blue with the orange, and then they have another kind of accent in there that's a lighter orange, so we could mix it up a little bit on a couple pieces of the equipment. And these playground reps are very good at what they do, so I utilize them a lot to say, here's the equipment we're getting, what colors do you recommend to put on them within these color patterns? And they do a pretty good job recommending that. So we'll probably just ask them what they recommend. They, you know, order a lot of this equipment.
And this picture also shows that rubberized stuff, whatever you call it, that surface. We're not putting that in, are we?
No, we'll have the engineered wood fiber like we have at the playgrounds
Okay.
and such. So if you look on the website for this company, they do have other examples that have the engineered wood fiber. So I know that Public Works is planning to try to install a pathway to it so that it's easier to access. So that's a good option as well to get to the area.
Is this a new location definite? That's a really great location.
The one that's at the front of the park,
Yeah.
I think it's fairly definite. We've talked to, well, the playground rep came out here and looked at all of the options. We've had Public Works look at it. Chris, city manager, and I had talked about this area, and I think, you know, one thing that had come up is you don't want it to be so close to everything that people don't want to use it.
Yeah.
But we are going to try to tuck it just a little bit, not too far back, so it's not covered by trees. But we're going to try to kind of tuck it in there in the available space. We think that it serves a lot of purposes, which I kind of wrote down some of those things. One is that obviously that playground is heavily used by parents, caregivers. If you have a kid that's, you know, 10 that's playing at the playground on the swings, you can go over there and be on the exercise equipment, which is great. Whereas if it was across the park, that's not really going to be an option for you. It's right by the restrooms. There's a little parking area there that's really close by. So it does have a lot going for it. The area where it was located is a pretty wet area, and that's why we initially moved away from, let's look at some other options. That whole side of the park is really pretty wet, and these are obviously like buried in concrete, and you have the wood surface that you're trying to keep, you know, from floating. So we identified the two options as being the best, but because this one's just so close to the other amenities, we think that it's probably a better option.
That's kind of the area between where the old caretaker's place and the creek, right?
Yeah, it's essentially where the backyard of that property was.
All right.
And there are a few trees in there that Public Works had already identified that will come down, just a few smaller trees that are in there that just need to come
Sorry.
down. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Are these the two different options, or are these the same area?
Those are the same area,
That's
so
what I thought.
it's a closer up view and like.
So what are the two? then?
The other option we had talked about previously, and that was
Oh,
across the park, like, kind of across the little roadway from the ball field. So just.
where it is now?
No, like
Oh, okay.
further west from
Yeah,
that,
okay.
like the southwest side of the park,
I
essentially.
do know this spot where they put in those gravel spots, right off of that, there's a puddle there. It gets
Yeah.
pretty wet.
They know, I mean, Public Works, they mow, they deal with this stuff, they
Yeah.
know. They know
Are
what's
they
going on.
gonna
with
put
their-
drainage in, or do you know?
I don't know that we're going to be able to, like, I don't think the project includes drainage, but they seem to think that they're confident they can find a spot there that's steered away from that area.
Because I know it can be soggy
Mhm.
in the,
Just as long as I leave the big oak tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully, I
Ash will
mean,
go, but
yeah,
the oak,
yeah.
nice shade.
Yeah, and the playground rep did, even with the trees that were there was only one smaller tree that he identified that he said, well, that one would need to come out to fit this. But like I said, they already had some tree work that they were doing there, so there will be some of the trees, but we are trying to keep shade without putting it under the trees where you're gonna get a lot of the debris and everything, so,
Oh, that's a good place.
yeah. So I think overall positive, really, great that we're going to be able to get quite a few pieces, so we're going to increase what we have,
yeah,
the types of activities that you can do with it, which is great, but we also have some of the items that people did like the sit-up board, people liked that, we've got the balance beam. And it will obviously be attractive for multiple uses and generations. I think that there's all ages can use this. There are things that, again, like if you're over there as a family, I think that there are things that the younger kids can do. They can walk the balance beam, do sit-ups, and there are things that are going to be more challenging for people who are looking for a little bit of a challenge.
how far is that balance board off the ground?
I don't know for sure, Larry. It's a good
How
question.
far would I fall?
Yeah.
Or on
Yeah, how
top
far
of
are you
that?
gonna, yeah,
I like the balance being low.
I think it's fairly low is my guess. They really want this equipment to be useful for like the most people possible. So they're not designing things that are really complex. Like if you went to a gym and you're gonna find things that
Right,
you have to be an expert to use them, that's not what they're after with this type of equipment. So yeah, I foresee that it's going to be useful to a lot of people.
and
I don't know about the knee lift station. Yeah, there you go. Right. It's true. It's fall protection.
what's the timeline now?
Yes, so this has to be ordered by, I think it's like October 15th, to get the incentive. So we'll order it pretty soon, get it on order. We're gonna have to wait for next year to kind of dry out. Hopefully we'll get it installed by the end of the fiscal year. That's what city manager and I are pushing for. It was a priority for the city council's strategic plan for this fiscal year. So we'd like to get it wrapped up by the end. We can't control the weather, so if we end up with a really soggy spring, it's possible that they have to push it a little. But the installation is pretty simple, which is great. So it's not anything super complicated. It's easier than a lot of playground equipment. Most of these are just like posts that are being installed. So, but they do have to dig out the area, make an area for the fall protection. So I think that's going to be what it's more dependent on, is just getting equipment in there.
Right, anyone have any other questions?
Thoughts, comments, any input on the layout? This was recommended by the manufacturer rep, like I said, but he did come out here, which is great. We walked the site, which is nice. You don't always get that. Sometimes they're pretty far away and they can't.
Are they out of Portland or?
I think that he's more local, like Salem.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
so.
that's good that they were able to.
Mhm. Yeah, I think his recommendation, again, they do this a lot, so I think that he's putting it in a place that he feels is like a natural convenience. Again, trying to fit it in the area near the shade, away from the debris of the trees, and that was kind of a priority. And it's kind of a circuit, in a way, like you can kind of go down it and come back. One priority I think is the rings, what those are called, the trapeze rack. They're pretty attractive when you see them. So we do want to make sure that, however, this ends up being placed, that they're pretty visual. We want people to see them when you come into the park. Because that'll get people over there more than a sit-up board that's, down next to the ground. So, yeah, we're gonna try to make sure that that's visual when you come into the park and are looking around the park.
One other question I have, did anyone talk about like benches to sit down on?
We don't necessarily have benches in the budget, but my hope is that we can add one or two. We know the cost of them, so it's really just going to be kind of costing out the concrete. We have an estimate right now of what we think we'll need to do the dig out and get the wood fiber and concrete. So if we come in and can include a bench or two, we'll definitely try to do that. We've been trying to add those, like Triangle Park.
Right.
There wasn't replacement of a bench, or we added an additional bench as well. That wasn't in the budget initially, but we were able to cut costs on that project and got some benches. So
Okay.
we'll try to do the same thing here.
Well, and I know there have been benches put throughout with that
Right.
grant, and I didn't even know, I couldn't remember if there was one in that area or not. So, speaking for the over 50 crowd, it would be good to have some benches.
Have a
to
seat. In
rest your.
between. Yeah. Okay. Noted. Good input.
So do you, or does it matter, do you need a motion or recommendation or anything for us to take to the council or not?
I think just general consensus. I mean, they've already said, please get this project done. So I think this is kind of where we're at, is that you as a board have gone through it, looked at options, got the public input. And now we just want to order it. We want to get the, best financial package that we can get there for the equipment. So, yeah, unless anyone here has something significant that you're concerned about with it, I don't think you are. You've done a really good job of looking at it, getting public input. Again, I just think people are excited to have this new equipment. That's really most of the feedback that I think that Larry and the mayor got, was just, we're excited to have, new equipment at City Park. And a lot of people, surprisingly, I felt like when I was there, I was kind of back and forth. They came a couple times. They knew that there was equipment at City Park. They knew that it left, and they were excited that we were putting something back. And I thought that was great, because I think before, when we said that equipment needs to be decommissioned, some people on the park board at that time said, does anyone even know that it's there? Does anyone know that there's equipment in City Park? And I think people do actually know that there's equipment there, and they're excited to have it back.
Yeah, that would be great. I think it'd be a very good addition.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
If for like future expansion, is there any contract with this company about putting other equipment around it? Like, because one good thing to note is that the wood fiber surface makes expansion easier than trying to expand a soft surface. But yeah, would there be any restrictions on getting like a pull-up bar from another vendor?
No, you can buy other equipment. Sometimes if you're trying to put things really close to each other, they'll push back a little bit on their kind of fall area, or that you have to have, and they'll say, we can't touch what that manufacturer says. I've run into that before, like in playgrounds where you have existing things. But overall, they're usually pretty good. They want to sell a product. We're lucky in Oregon. we have a number of manufacturers that we're able to purchase directly through because they have state contracts or federal. So, you know, we can go back to this company. Like I said, they've been really great to work with, have found us some good deals, which is great. As a staff member, and I've ordered a lot of this stuff for a lot of years, but I have to say it was probably the best experience that I've had as far as they were not pushy, but they definitely were, let's try to find you options and find deals. And so, you know, I would recommend in the future, like sticking with their equipment just for consistency and color consistency.
Yeah.
But yes, if we, let's say that they quit manufacturing this line of products and we had a deal from somewhere else, we can definitely put in other equipment. Yeah, and sometimes you just find a piece of equipment that another manufacturer just doesn't make, and you really want that piece of equipment, so.
Who is it that you're dealing with?
This is MRC Rec is the company that we're working with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any objections to anything?
No.
I see 4 enthusiastic nods.
Okay, great.
Or do you need a motion?
Consensus is
Okay.
good, so
All right.
our board's happy.
Never moving forward.
Yes, yeah, it'll be great, and we'll do some kind of a little ribbon cutting or something when we get it in and let you all know if you want to attend, so
Oh,
You
it's
come-
the first bullet.
come do the trapeze. Maybe the mayor usually tries to do that, but maybe you want to come and, you
I
know,
think that trapeze one was a real hit with the kids.
oh, yeah,
When they came by.
sure.
I think looking at the picture, it's pretty far.
Pretty far, yeah.
All right. Anything else on that? All right,
Just
Joe.
real quick, Larry, I just want to say I appreciate Park Board going the extra mile, having the survey out there and getting in feedback. The Park Board's got a good tradition of flowing with really reaching out to the neighborhoods and reach out to the community doing that. So I really appreciated seeing that, and Chelsea kind of spearheading that effort. So that's good feedback. You know, it's important, even though, you know, the 5 or 6 of you in the room probably could have come together and come up with something pretty similar. It's great to be able to take that out to the public and get their input and make sure they feel like they've got that buy-in as well. And I think it did in this case, especially. It definitely swayed against some of the products and
Right.
and definitely good confirmation. The ones we were looking at were good. Some of them we were looking at were really good. So anyway, thank you for doing that extra step, again, that public involvement in the process. That'll pay dividends when it goes in. Say, oh, it's just like one of the picture that we wanted, you know, so. I feel like that. So thank you from the city manager standpoint. That's really, really helpful to see you guys as involved as you are. So thank you.
All right.
So,
Thanks.
and Chelsea, I'm locking up for the night.
Okay, all right.
Good, everybody. Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks. One of the things I will say, you know, we were busy for that whole 4 hours. I was really surprised because I've been to the market, but you know, you go in for, 20 minutes or so, but it was busy all the way through.
Market's hopping these days.
And that in general is a good thing too. So for the city. All right. Music in the park, chamber after hours. I'm interested in this.
Yeah, so I was contacted. I don't think I put the flyer in here. I said I did, it is not in here. But if you look at city website or Facebook or the chamber's Facebook, they have a flyer for this. They approached us and asked if they could host and hopefully have a tradition of in the future, but I'd like to get your input on that. Host the last concert of the year in the future. So this is kind of the thing that they do each year. They like to plan things pretty far out on this is what we do each month. But they asked if they could host it. And they said they wanted to have like free hot dogs and snacks and, just be kind of the hosts of the event and offer a couple additional things that we don't always have at Music in the Park. And I said, well, that's great, but the Lions Club, they come on Wednesdays and they sell food. But I know that, the Lions Club really is doing that just as a community effort to get out, to get people to see them. They've got their boards up. They need new members. And that's primarily why they do it, is because the Lions Club is always kind of giving to the community, and even though they're selling the food, they're selling it at a low cost, and, you know, they're putting a lot of effort into it. So I said that I would call the Lions Club representative, and so I called him and asked him what he thought, and he said, you know, great. I mean, yeah, if we can just still have, you know, our name out there that we're participating, that's all that we want. If we can help out, let us know how. And so I put the interim chamber director, so there's an interim director, Nicole Hasley. I put them in touch with each other, and they worked it out and said it would be great. And
So the Lions Club will be there.
I think they may still be coming. I'm not sure what they worked out exactly. They may be coming to help hand out food, or they might just, Nicole may have said, we'll put up your boards and mention you. I'm not sure what they worked out, but I just want to make sure that, you know, they've been coming to Music in the Park for a long time. And so it's definitely, they, you know, had first place to make that decision. So it's pretty exciting. Chamber After Hour, Business After Hours is a program that they do. They kind of rotate around, do it in the evenings. It's just an additional kind of networking event that they do. This is obviously a little different. There'll be music playing, but I think that it's a great partnership. We have been trying to look for ways to partner more with the chamber. So, yeah, I think
Music will be playing while they're.
yeah, they'll be there enjoying the music, and they can go up and chat. And it's really just, it's an event just to come hang out. So they do different things. One time they did, I think they went to the museum, and you could just like look at the museum displays and then chat and have some snacks if you wanted. So they do kind of different events like this. So yeah, we'll still have Music in the Park the same as we do, but they'll provide some free snacks. I did hear as well, Pioneer reached out to me to ask if they could bring a table, have some swag for the community. And I said, of course, you know, we love Pioneer. They support like the entire Music in the Park program with the help from a few additional smaller sponsors. So they are welcome to come there. And so I think it's a good event. I wonder what you all have to say about it, or what you think about potentially continuing it. Maybe you want to wait until after it happens, see how it goes, and talk about it again with our kind of Music in the Park debrief. But just wanted to bring it up for you all.
I think it's great, because we talked about inviting sponsors to table and sort of host the music and have more involvement. So I think that lines up with discussions I've heard in the past about this.
Yeah, I'm excited for the prospect to see how it turns out. I mean, I would like to go to it, experience it, and then we can discuss it maybe at our next meeting. But because it would really be nice if, you know, for our, how many do we have, 6 or 5, whatever it was, to have like somebody sponsor, you know, each one.
Yeah.
Eventually get to that kind of a model, which I think would be nice. So, and this will, I think, should bring in a bigger crowd than we've been getting too.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah, I think
More
we'll see.
exposure.
What's that?
More exposure. It's good.
Yeah. So they've been advertising to the chamber membership and
I can't remember who's playing.
Blood on the Plow.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I think Tyler and Seth were the volunteers for that one, right?
Yeah, so Seth obviously is not signed up for that. I will be there, so I don't know, I haven't really talked to Nicole about what her expectation is for speaking and such, and I think she probably will intend that she's going to kind of get up and say things to people. That's what the chamber does, and it really is kind of their business after hours and our Music in the Park in conjunction. So I think I'll probably just ask her either that I can do what we normally would do, talking about Performing Arts Benefit Fund and our sponsors, or if she wants to do that as part of what she's saying, that's great. She can do that as well, but I'll talk to her about that. So, you know, I just think it's going to be a good event, and I'm kind of letting them, like you said, just that model of they're hosting that particular event. I think it's a good opportunity for us to see how that works. How does that feel to
Right,
us? How does that
right.
work? So yeah, well, we can debrief we usually do the big music in the park debrief about the whole season, and start looking at next year so we can just talk about how we all think that worked and let them know for sure what our feedback is on it.
We'd still be doing the fundraising part,
Yes.
the jug.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right,
So we'll still have that there.
okay.
And I think I'm pretty positive, but it's just been going really smooth this year, knock on wood. But I think the Benefit Arts Fund people have been there, but I haven't heard anything. Like they've been there with the jug, and that's been going smoothly, and it's really great. I think this year it feels like we've hit this nice cadence, and things I think are working really well. We had a good mix of new bands and bands that were familiar. And so I just think this is kind of a nice addition that things are going smooth. Now we can kind of open it up and maybe have a little bit of growth.
Yeah, I'm
So
excited to see how that works. And this is the first time we've also had one in September
it is, yeah,
on a weekday, which, school starts,
Yep.
things get busy, but.
yeah. So we'll see how it goes.
See how it goes,
Yeah.
yeah, that's great.
Yeah, but this might help. So this might kind of, like you said, bring in a different crowd of people that maybe we lose a little bit of the parents who are busy with the school, but we kind of gain some of the business community,
Yeah.
and it's all good exposure, and that eventually, hopefully, all of those people will come to all of the concerts.
And we've had really
Buy
good.
us an amphitheater.
Then we'll be building an
Yeah,
amphitheater.
there you go.
I like how you think stuff.
And we've had really good weather for this year, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the ones I attended were, the weather was great.
Yeah.
So we'll keep that going. Is anybody else going to be there on the 10th? I'll plan on being there.
Try to be, I guess.
It's getting close to Talk Like a Pirate Day, isn't it?
We're not doing that.
Oh.
It was my favorite thing to do with the community. Not enough people from the community came.
Oh, yeah.
We combined it with the dance last time, and there were some funny things that went on, so.
All right, well, I won't.
Taking a hiatus.
I mean, nothing,
No,
Yeah.
no.
just,
that's
it
good.
wasn't portrayed to the dancers in the way it should have been. So we were kind of like, oh, we don't need to go, or we'll come later. So, but it was fun while it lasted.
So I did want to add a couple things under informational. We missed the board.
Okay.
Usually there's the line that says board and staff communication. So I want to make sure that after we talk about the Performing Arts Benefit Funds donation letter, that we get a board report time, and then I have a couple other announcements that I want to make too. So after we talk about that, before we adjourn the meeting, let's talk about a couple more things.
And you were mentioning the Performing Arts Benefits Fund. The other thing that's really nice this year is that there was always somebody different, at least the time I was there, that were, and so it got more people, different people involved.
Well, that's good.
Which I thought was
Yeah.
good.
I have to say that Kay McGee, who has been primarily helping with that in the past, just was a really great support and participant when I said, hey, can you be here more? The park board doesn't really necessarily know what you're about, and we don't know how to spread that message as well as you do. So I think it was last year that she really stepped up her efforts to bring more information and be there more. And like you said, I think more of their board members have been coming and participating, which is really great. It's a good partnership, and I'm glad that they are able to participate. I think people like to see the entire community there, and it gives them a person that they can chat with if they need to. If you don't know, there's a board member over there, go have a chat. So yeah, I think that's been going really well. And then,
And everybody did see the letter from Tom Clifford, the treasurer. That $300, was that just from one?
yes, so we've kind of gone back and forth between, we donate it directly to like the school programs. So we'll donate it to the middle school when the middle school band played, or the high school, and we've kind of been rotating. And this is one of the rotations that we do, is to give the Performing Arts Benefit Fund that kind of payment from the first concert,
Okay.
because we know that it will go to those programs, music programs, and other arts programs directly at the schools. So we've kind of rotated and tried to pass that around on who is getting that funding.
Um, So one of the other things that I thought about earlier with the chamber and everything is sound system. Now, I don't know that I ever used our sound system here, that we just used the bands. So do they want a separate one, do you think, or do they?
Oh, for the chamber,
Yeah.
they'll probably borrow this one.
Okay.
We regularly loan it out to other organizations. They know that we have it, and it's kind of part of we got it with some grant funding because we do loan it out to other organizations, so they'll probably use it.
So you want somebody to pick it up?
I'll ask Nicole. I
mean, one of us?
either I would take, I'm going, so I
Okay.
would take it if the
Okay.
chamber folks don't want to come and get it. Mhm.
Did anyone here use it when you were doing, okay, most of the bands were real good.
Yeah, I
Sometimes-
asked Tyler about it, and he said, yeah, I wouldn't necessarily want to use that to play for a crowd here, because his speakers are louder and.
Yeah, no,
Well,
it's not for that, it's just for announcements.
It's
Yeah.
just for announcements.
Yeah.
And that's
I haven't
the,
seen it.
Okay.
that's the only issue, I think, is that when we do this, when we do our spiel about the Performing Arts Fund, it doesn't always get out to,
Mhm.
that with the wind blowing and stuff, that kind of takes it away, so.
Yeah,
But I think most people have been here enough that they know what's going on.
Mhm. Yeah.
All right. Let's go back. So that's informational. Then you had some additional things. Joe.
Yeah, I was going first open it up for any board reports, if anyone has anything.
I do. The Grange is going to refinish the floors. And it's $4,000, it'll be $4,000. So we're having a dance fundraiser on September 26th. You might like to know this, Brad. I'll send you an email anyway. At the rodeo grounds.
September 26th.
That's a Friday night. And the rodeo board they're letting us use the grounds at no cost. And Jamie has event insurance, so that's covered because that stopped us before. She's fantastic. She's going to have 4 instructors, 4 dances taught, a competition with prizes. So it'll be a really fun night. Again, it's no alcohol because we have a lot of high school kids coming and things.
And it's a dancing event,
Yeah,
okay.
it's just what we do over at the Grange. So
Okay.
there's swing instruction, line dancing instruction, and
Okay.
competition. They love the competitions.
Okay.
So anyway, all that money will go to the Grange to help with the floor. So
And what time is it?
7 to 11,
7 to 11. Okay,
just for your information.
great. How about anyone else? Anyone else have any thoughts,
Yeah.
announcements?
September 13th is September Beer Fest in Avery Park in Corvallis. It's all for charity, so I'll be checking your ID as you come through the door and taking your money. They can come, they do not have to pay, they will not get a wristband, and they will not be able to drink. But there's root beer.
Is it like an Oktoberfest theme to it?
It's very light.
Like, oh, no, journals are later.
A few,
Maybe, okay.
but not a lot.
There's always a few.
Because I have like 6, so I'm always looking for an excuse.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's Beer Fest, you can wear it.
All right, anything else?
Okay, so I had a couple things if no one has any
Nothing exciting.
additional, okay. We do have 2 park board vacancies, as you know. Right now, Rose Bricker and Seth Williams have both sadly stepped down for various reasons. And so we did advertise those vacancies and it closed late last week. We had 1 application. So we're recommending that person to the city council. We're sending that application to the city council, not really recommending anything. They will make a decision on Monday whether they will appoint that person. One of the terms expires December 31st in 26, and the other one is in 27. So they can choose which they want to appoint that person to. And then we're going to open it back up this week as soon as our city recorder is back on Thursday. So we'll open it back up. So please spread the word if you know anyone, if you go to events or are part of any kind of organization or email group of people in Philomath, spread the word. We're glad to have the one person, it sounds like it's someone who's been in the community for a long time, has applied. That's great. We would love to have other people apply and, more options potentially for appointing people. And we like to have, when we have interest like that, if we have other openings that come available, we like to try to pass that on to people that apply. So that's one thing. The second thing is that the city is hosting Citizens Academy again this year. We've had a couple years off and we've restructured it a little bit. And I don't know if any of you are familiar with Citizens Academy, but it's a program where we in conjunction with Philomath Fire, some of the nonprofits in town, the school district, host little learning events. The first one is this Thursday, the 4th, 6 p.m. here at City Hall. And it'll be kind of a local government 101. That session is. They're drop-in, so you don't have to register this year. That's what's new. You used to have to kind of commit to attending, I think, 7 of the 8. You get a certificate. Now we're saying if you attend 7 of the 8, you get a certificate, but if you just want to drop in because you're curious about what goes on at the police department or what goes on with budgeting, I've been thinking about getting on the budget committee. What does the city have to say about budgets? We have different sessions, so if someone's really particularly interested in kind of 1 or 2 things, they can come do that. I think we have one that's like community development and building. We have this local government 101 that I'll be at and the city manager will be at and the city recorder. That's this week. And then, like I said, Philomath Fire. So you get to do a tour of the fire department, police department, tour of the police department. I think there's a public works one where you get to look at public works things. And a lot of the people who go through the program do end up wanting to be on boards and committees in the council. So we've had, kind of a good number of people. I think I want to say the last time we checked, it was like 40% of people who are on current boards and committees and councils had been through Citizens Academy. So it's a great program. If you know anyone who's interested, you do not have to live in city limits or anything. It's open. If you know someone in Corvallis who said, I really love Philomath, I come there all the time, what's going on in Philomath? They can come as well. So I just wanted to note that for anyone who thinks they might know people who would be interested, or if you're interested, any of you, it really is a good program. And that's it. That's what I have to say.
All right.
Now this week until
It's 8 sessions, I believe, so it'll be every Thursday.
Every week.
I think it's every week for 8 weeks.
Certificate is if you attend 7 of the 8.
I think it's if you attend 7 of the 8. Yeah. Yeah. So, and it's on our city website, so we have calendar, and they're all listed on there, what each one is.
It's good to know it's a new format, because I saw it on there and just assumed
Yeah, we'll see. We've said there might be 3 people that come to any one of them, and great. We'll, be happy to have those 3 people, or there could be 30 people. We don't know. It's a little, how many people are we going to be speaking to today? But we'll see. We're giving it a try.
And there's an event on the 10th that we could also announce that we have a park board advisory
Yes.
position available. So,
Yeah.
All right, other comments, so our next meeting is October 7th.
If we need it, I don't know that we have any business currently, so we probably are
The
not
only-
going to hold it.
The only business we would have would be reviewing
Mhm.
music in the park and reviewing our last music in the park, the September 10th. Is there a benefit, is there a benefit of meeting just to do that then? Or wait until November when I may have forgotten some things?
Yeah, it's kind of up
So-
to you all, like, if you think that, again, we could kind of get it out of the way, and then we most likely won't have anything specific. We have kind of a calendar of events now of when things are happening, for music in the park, and I could just bring that all and say, let's debrief, here's what's going forward, into January. If you want to do that in October, that's fine. We can just hold it, make sure we have a quorum. We might have a new member, which it would be potentially a nice thing to be able to invite that member and not have a big hiatus before they get to come meet everyone and participate. So that's a benefit. But I definitely would want to meet for sure. If we don't meet in October, I'd want to meet in November for sure, because we sometimes meet in December, but not usually unless we have,
So what are your
business.
thoughts? October or November? November would be November the 4th.
Preference.
No preference. for me.
Okay. Shall we just keep the October meeting and just go forward with scheduling for that?
If there's a new member, I do think that would be nice. Start them out in October.
We would likely have one new member in October,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Okay,
And we can't say how long it will take to have another member.
right.
We'll just kind of have to keep it
Well-
open until we.
So one other thought, changing my mind here a little bit, is that if we meet in November, does that get us talking about next year then more?
No, I think we'll be able to talk about next year.
Okay.
Everything's really just going to be the same as last year, and unless we have recommendations, what we can bring to the table, what we kind of laid out last year. So
Okay.
I think we'll be ready.
All right, so October 7th?
Yep.
It's good?
Yes, and I will say, I have one more additional tidbit of city. We do also have a new park advisory ad hoc committee that we're accepting applications for right now. I think that it closes September 30th, so if you know anyone who's interested in public art,
Oh,
we're gonna kind of form a program, get a plan, work on the downtown plinths, to start, but it also will eventually be, I'm sure, in some parks. We have public art in some of our parks. So if you know anyone who's interested in art, we have that on our website as well right now.
Isn't the meeting, oh no, okay. I'm changing my mind because I will be gone October 7th. I was thinking Wednesday, October 1st, no, it's Tuesday. Well, I won't be here in October. That is a problem with a quorum.
Okay,
let's see how it goes.
okay. Let's plan on it, and
Yeah.
I'll reach out and see how we're doing closer to that.
All right, anything else for the good of the order? All right, thank you for all your work, Chelsea, on this. And we're adjourning at 6:20. That's okay? All right. Thank you for coming. We'll see some of you or all of you September 10th one.